Yet another Supercross game, yet another shit compound. I hate to say it, I don't want to keep dogging on this series, this game, but the compound really doesn't have anything great or fun to offer. So there's 4 Supercross tracks and 1 motocross track, I believe. One thing I can say about all of the tracks, especially the Supercross ones, is they are so simplistic. It's basically like they were meant for a 5-year-old. Very toned down, one line, which is okay, but they aren't fun. I did a couple laps on all the tracks, and I was pretty much done with them. I didn't want to play them again, and I don't think I ever will. The tracks are not fun. The texture on the dirt is just god-awful. It's a problem I've had with this entire game, really. It just seems like they got the textures wrong with the dirt, especially on the compound. The track just looks so plain and uninteresting. Oh yeah, and whatever you do not set the dynamic lighting to cycling. Just keep it on the daytime the whole time, because if you don't, it's pretty much going to be nighttime 90% of the time, and it's so dark, especially on the tracks. There's no lights around them, you can't see what you're doing. Tracks look horrible at nighttime, and so does the rest of the compound, so keep it in the daytime, because that's when the compound actually looks kind of decent. I don't think Supercross 5 has the worst compound in the entire series, but it's definitely down there. The worst compound in the entire series probably goes to Supercross 4, then next to that would be MXGP 2020, and then Supercross 5. The only reason I would put it ahead of those games is just simply because the tracks aren't as bad as they are in Supercross 4 and MXGP 2020. But the tracks are still insanely shit, and they are not fun to ride on at all. Like I said earlier, I did a couple laps on all the tracks, and I was done with them. There's nothing exciting about them, and they look like shit. There is a few things to kind of look at on the compound, like a couple houses, playgrounds, a bunch of random houses and objects, but unfortunately you can't ride on any of them. You can't go up a slide. They are kind of just there to look at. You can't do any sort of enduro on any objects on the compound. No enduro at all. So the cool compound that was in MXGP 2021, definitely not the case for Supercross 5. I did get stuck a couple times, but thankfully there is a reset button, so that's good. There is these number plates that you can go around and try to find, and if you collect them all, I believe you just get a gear set and a bike graphics kit. I found about 19 out of 20, I think, or 18, and I didn't even really care to find the other 2 because I know I probably wouldn't be rocking the gear set that they give you. There is a few cool jumps on the compound, especially where some of the number plates are located. There's some decent sends, but nothing too crazy. I think the theme with a lot of these Supercross compounds is not a lot of big jumps, not a lot of cool stuff to explore. It's just kind of stuff to look at and not really enjoy. I had a little bit of a problem where I would crash, then get reset, not knowing where I am. It was a few feet away from where I crashed, and it kind of faced me in a weird direction. Not a huge deal, but just something that I noticed. There is a map you can look at in case you're lost and you want to go to a certain track or a certain area. There was a couple spots where they had a great opportunity to do something cool, but again, it's just stuff on the outside of the map that you think you can get to or you want to be able to get to but you can't, which has been a problem in the last few Supercross games, and it's a problem again in Supercross 5. I'm glad they got rid of that invisible electronic barrier around the outside of the map because no one wants to look at that, but even though they got rid of that, you still can't really go too close to the edge of the map or you get reset. I rode on the compound for about 30 minutes and I explored everything a few times. It really just does not have a whole lot to offer, which is kind of sad because they definitely could do a lot more with this, but they for sure did try to make a better environment on Supercross 5 than in Supercross 4, because the environment in the last Supercross game was completely ass. I think that's the only good thing this compound has going for it is the environment. There is a few spots that are actually really gorgeous, and I appreciate that they tried to make an effort there, but everywhere else it just doesn't seem like they tried too much. Then again, I know they can't really do too much with these games anymore as far as innovation or being super creative. You can do a time trial or a race against the AI, but I probably will never do that. I'm not too sure if you can race these tracks online, but you probably will be able to because you have been for the last few games now. I wasn't expecting the compound to be spectacular or good, but I think I was expecting at least one of the tracks to be decent. It just seems like with the Supercross tracks, they threw those together in a few minutes, and the motocross track I spent an hour on, it really does not seem like they tried to make good tracks or anything super crazy on the compound. Other than that though, I don't think I have too much else to say about the compound in Supercross 5. It's definitely not good. It's definitely really bad. The fact that I got bored with this compound in 30 minutes just shows how boring it is and the lack of stuff to do on it. And again, I explored everything at least a few times and I was done with it. A couple laps on each of the tracks and that's it. There just really isn't anything fun to do on it, and it doesn't offer anything spectacular. Going forward, I would really not expect anything more than disastrous from the compounds, because they just simply haven't been good for a while now, especially in the Supercross games, and I don't think they ever will make an amazing compound because they are yet to do that in well over 10 games. That's all I have to say for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and take care.